Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be playing as Pakistan and we're going to be forming Stanistan, or the hypothetical country where what if all the Stan nations were united, basically, or the countries that end with Stan in their name. And so this is mainly just going to be set pretty much just Central Asia, actually. Like, it's literally that. And so, of course, also one more thing, this video is a challenge video. Now, it's actually been a while. I should have done this like a while ago, but I've wanted to do this for a while, but I guess I just, got occupied with other things. So finally getting to do this. Anyways, I started this off by invading Afghanistan, and the invasion goes good initially. I hold back my advance because I know that the AI is going to stack one place and then try to push, which they do. And once that push fails, I prepare to go all in because, I go all in because I know the AI is completely out of troops. And just like that, Pakistan falls very fast. But the AI does not let me annex it all. So what I do is I get rid of the useless ones and then just take the best provinces out of all of them. I just try to I basically just take away half of the country pretty much. Now, I then disband my army. I don't need it anymore. But then I think, wait, no, I could use it still. And so I send it Iran. I threaten Iran for military access. And then what I do is I go through Turkmenistan. I go to Turkmenistan, and since they're also part of my conquests, I decide to just get it over with because I knew Turkmenistan is weak, right? In this game, they only have 9,000 factories, so they're very weak as a country, and you can just very easily conquer them. So after I conquered them with the 10,000 troops I had, I just made peace and then continued on, right? And so I took the next couple of turns to mainly assimilate my forces, but I didn't stop because I knew this. I didn't want to waste too much time, and so I raised new forces from Pakistan itself, and then I decided to invade Tajikistan. Now I probably could have threatened them and just threatened them to annex their territory, but instead I just invaded them because why not? And since I had troops left after that invasion, I decided to invade Kyrgyzstan. I gave them an ultimatum, they refused, so it didn't matter anyways. I'd still invade them regardless. And so, just like that, I was able to take over Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan very quickly, on the same army, right? And I annexed Kyrgyzstan as well. And I just annexed them and then took them over completely. It was very simple. And then afterwards, I decided that, maybe it's time to wait a little bit now because I don't want to push too far. But while I was waiting for those places to, Tajikistan and Kyrgyzstan to assimilate, I decided to finish off what was left of Afghanistan because I realized that the truce was over. And so I raised up my armies, and I didn't even bother raising them to very strong, right? Normally I do 1,000 troops per province, which here I sort of did, but I kept, in some provinces it was as low as 200 because, I didn't really expect them to counterattack me at all. So it was mainly just a mop up, and I just cleared up Afghanistan. And of course, the troops that were left behind, I just moved them over back to Pakistan, Islamabad specifically, and I assimilated the rest of the Afghan territory. It was very cheap to do so because the provinces I didn't take were the ones where nobody was living in, pretty much. So yeah. And now I waited for a couple more turns, and then I realized, okay, India really doesn't like me. So I tried to make a non-aggression pact. They refused, so I just get them in war with China. Same thing with Iran. I don't want them attacking me later on, so they accepted the non-aggression pact. But yeah, no, since India was at war with China, now they would be forever occupied with that. They would not bother me while I was doing my thing. And so I started now, after the assimilation was done, I started raising a new army in Central Asia with the newly assimilated territories, while also, preparing to invade Uzbekistan, right? Now, this one started, and I didn't immediately attack near the capital because I knew, here's the thing, right? Attacking the capital on the first turn is not a very good idea because most of the time the AI will stack on that capital. So it's not a good strategy because the capital is well defended. And see, just like that, you see just now, Uzbekistan pushed back, right? But that's because they were stacking on the capital, but I didn't attack them, so they attacked first. And just like that, we were able to invade Uzbekistan with less casualties than I probably would have had if I attacked the capital directly. So yeah, these are the strats, guys. Anyways, I moved the troops down because I wanted to. Like it usually speeds up your simulation if you like move your troops out and then just go to your stability, like the tabs right here, where you can see all the provinces, and then just like spam it. That's all I do, and like it shows up as unstable if you move your troops. So that's why I always move them. Now, both Russia and Iran, I signed the non-aggression pacts with Iran again and Russia also because I didn't want them interfering with my war in Kazakhstan, and so, or at least my future war in Kazakhstan. And so I started lining up my forces, all like the forces that that were left over from the Uzbekistan invasion on Kazakhstan, right? And I started raising more troops in Kyrgyzstan as well to supplement these lines. And then I kept moving them once I felt they were ready, right? Soon the war began, and I was now invading Kazakhstan. Now, I didn't want to attack everywhere all at once. They even managed to find a gap in my lines at one point. So I knew I had to be a little bit more careful if I wanted to keep this advance going. And the thing was, over on the western side of the country, right, the provinces got a lot smaller, whereas on the eastern side where I was most advancing, the provinces were larger. So I had to advance a little bit slowly on the western side of the country because I didn't want to leave gaps open in my lines unnecessarily. Meanwhile, the Kazakhs were trying to push back over, and the main fighting was going on in like the, central / like the eastern side of the country, the side that's like nearer to China than it is to the Caspian Sea, basically, right? I'm gonna just put it like that. And then the Kazakhs were actually giving me a decent fight. Like they'd managed to break through my lines at one point, and I had to conscript units to fight them back. But I was advancing over on the far east and the far west as well, while they were trying to push the center. And so what I did was I raised some new forces, and they actually managed to get back to like where the original border was in some places. But once I pushed them back, their advance ran out of steam, and now they had no troops. And so I advanced on every single province, uncontested pretty much. But that still didn't mean that I, just went recklessly, because I was still trying to keep my lines straight rather than make it all muddled up. And they actually led one last attack from the capital, but that was a failure. And soon Kazakhstan fell to my army. But unfortunately, the game didn't let me annex the whole thing. So I just took as much as I could and then made the truce as short as possible. Now, with these troops, I moved them all together, and I bunched them up, right, all together in one spot, and then I moved them all the way down because I wanted to, again, spam these provinces and just assimilate them all, right here and now. And once that was done, I was just, this is just, me waiting. And the game kept telling me that, like, I was unstable because some of the provinces were 99% stability, and apparently that wasn't stable enough, so I was stabilizing those as well. And once that was done, I started moving troops back to the Kazakh border because they're assimilating anyways, and the troops didn't get in the way of anything, so it was fine. Now, I made sure to cover like every single province, and I looked at my army and I realized that there were the troops that were left in Islamabad a while ago, which I never really bothered to pick up, so I moved them as well so that they don't just sit there. And finally, once they all got there, I declared war once again on Kazakhstan. This time, though, my advance was way more just all-out attack. It was way more of an all-out attack. They actually managed to block my attack on the capital, which, again, goes to show why you should not attack the capital on the first try. Even as they were weak, they still managed to defend. And I kind of like held back on attacking the capital for a moment, and instead decided to like practically surround it while I disbanded units elsewhere in the country. And so finally I brought down Kazakhstan, and finally we formed Stanistan, or the land of the stands, or the land of the lands. I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.